It recognizes our belief in God, our country, not just individuals, our country, our founding fathers codified this in the documents that founded this country. Our reliance, our belief in God, and our reliance upon God. Of that, there's just no debate on that. You may like it, may not like it. Declaration of Independence, we find these truths to be self-evident, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It goes on in the Constitution to say we are putting together this Constitution in a preamble to secure the blessings, not only for ourselves, for posterity. And that Constitution followed with a Bill of Rights that enumerated those godly rights given to man, including the very first one, which was a right to believe in God and to express that belief anytime, anywhere, including the public square.
33 million. It's proven to the money investors that people want something to feed their souls, not just their worst desires.
Absolutely.
And
yes, indeed.
This kind of sums up my entire dialogue career on the heat of the night. You ready for this? Okay, this is it. My 7 years on the heat of the night. My dialogue all summarized in this. Get right on it, Chief.
Skinner, but Bubba's my name. I like my iced tea sweet and my women the same. I'm your brown-haired badge here in little old Sparta, but nobody's bigger or tougher or smarter. If you're looking to fight, best not be with me. Wanna be held tight? Well, now we'll just see. You never know in the heat of the night on TNT. Heat of the night on TNT. Now I don't put on any airs, but then I ain't no slob. Just a redneck boy with a blue-collar job. The ladies I date, they gonna have 'em some fun, 'cause I'm a big hunk of crime fighting son of a gun. So if you're looking to fight, come on up in the ring. You wanna be held tight, just about anything can happen in the heat of the night on TNT. Hubba, 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 heat of the night on TNT. Yeah.
It recognizes our belief in God.
From NFL quarterback to Hollywood to the mayor's office, and now behind the mic at KXEX, this is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody's grabbing out there. Nobody. That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable. We are live.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX.
Hey, y'all. This is Manic Monstrous Monday, the Alan Autry Show, coming to you live from the KXEX studios here in Manchester City. Manchester City.
The soccer game.
Yeah. And my beautiful, beloved Fresno, California. And next to me is my good buddy, political pundit, all-around good guy, great son, wonderful husband. Can I go on and on and on? Yes, I can, but I won't.
Just go ahead. Why not?
A lot. Guillermo Moreno. Welcome, Guillermo.
Hey, it's always a pleasure.
Hey, before we get going to the hard news, I want to give a quick shout out to my good buddy Joe Haro, who's with Joe today. Joe, along with Heather Abelbeck and my wife Kimberly, big part of Legacy Education, which is a mentoring and coaching organization that works with high school kids primarily, but also junior high kids to help them navigate the challenges and opportunities of life in this crazy old world.
Man, don't we need that right now?
And they do a great job, so just want to salute you all. I think you were going to be watching a little bit today. And Kim will be back in the saddle pretty soon.
Really?
People want her back, Free for All Friday. And she's been navigating some stuff in life. Yeah. She can't wait to get back, and that day's coming pretty soon. Here.
Oh, man, that's the best news. We missed you, Kim.
Oh, man.
Hey, you know how hard it is to keep this guy in line?
Oh, gosh. Yeah. How she used to grill me on here.
She did. I loved it.
You talk about awkward. Have your wife there, too. You know?
Oh, I'm sure if I did a show with my wife, she'd...
Yeah. Oh, but you can't go Jackie Gleason. Pow, zoom, Alice. You can't do that anymore. I mean,
oh yeah,
because she'd do that to me before I'd. Anyway,
we should do a show with both of our wives. I bet you they would gang up on us. And pummel us.
Are you freaking crazy? Those are challenges. If you challenge me to do that, I will.
Oh yeah, no, don't.
But there won't be enough left of me to sweep up out of the studios. Talk about slice and dice. You're going to go ninja. No. We love my wife. I think she loves me. Depends on the day. Depends on how obedient I am. If I'm doing the right thing, which is a lot of husbands out there can relate to that. But anyway, Joe, love you, boy. He does a great job. And Heather and all the Legacy team gone out there working with those kids every day, taking a little summer break now. But we'll be back at it here real soon.
That's awesome.
We just see up here on the boards there that Trump arriving early in Miami for his arraignment. Guillermo, 37 counts.
Yeah.
How can you squeeze 37 counts out of some documents that are really innocuous documents? I mean,
each document is a count.
Huh?
Each document is a count.
Yes.
You're like, hey, count one on this document, top secret information.
Now, isn't this right off the bat, you'd say, okay, one or two. Do you have classified documents that, okay, you shouldn't have taken them? A lot of presidents have. We want to make an example out of you. Okay, they might get by with that in some circles. I think it's absolutely unfair. But you would think, okay, you got the one charge, taking documents that you shouldn't have taken. Okay, stuff's in there sensitive. You look at it. Did you put any operatives at risk? There, maybe 2 counts. But you get up to 5, 6, you would go, hey, come on. 10, 20, 30, 30. And doesn't it just scream of the strategy? We're going to put so many. It's like back we used to fish when I was a kid with my grandpa. They made it illegal afterward. But instead of the one hook, fishing out at Lake Success, a lot of you guys remember out Tulare, Lake Success out there. Back in the day, you could put like 10, 15 hooks on your line.
Really?
And put it out there. And just by sheer volume, you would catch like 2, 3, 4 fish. I remember my grandpa holding up the line with like 5 or 6 fish on there.
Wow.
Well, they outlawed it after a while.
Oh, yeah.
You took all the fish. This. There are 37 fish hooks out there on this president, hoping to catch something. They're going to put so much on the jury. How dumb do you think, did they think people are?
Well, they think people are, the American.
But this is not just political, is my question.
No, I think it is just political.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Don't they know people know that?
Yeah. They're hoping that they don't. They're honestly hoping, I think, that they try to get him so far deep into the weeds and so trumped up, excuse my pun, where they'll settle. And you know what the settlement that they're hoping is? that he says, you know what, I'll never seek federal office again. Because if he doesn't have access to more classified information, he won't be doing this anymore, right? And the answer to that is going to be resounding H-E double hockey stick. No, that man is running for president. What really gets me...
Do you know I found out the other day? And then get back over.
Yeah.
You know, I'm laughing through the tears. This is horrible for the country. That the founding fathers must have predicted. They must have known, very prescient in their thinking here, of what America could descend to. They didn't watch, knowing the nature of man to go out and get other men when they don't agree with them.
Yeah.
You know, and use every tool imaginable. That's why the separation of powers, so you don't concentrate that power like King George. Decide you're going to bring one singular hammer down on all the colonies. Is that you can actually run for office from jail?
Yeah.
You can run for president.
You can. Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you know that before this all happened?
No.
I wouldn't have thought you. Now, my next question, if you're convicted, can you run the country from jail?
Yeah, at that point, you'd pardon yourself and get out.
Okay.
Yeah. So you make it out just in time for all the balls on inauguration day.
Lord, I don't know if I'm in an episode of Twilight Zone or Green Acres. That is so crazy, because you know what they're doing to this guy. They are Nelson Mandela-izing him.
Yeah.
People go, yes, they are.
Yeah, it's true.
If you look what they did to Nelson Mandela, they stuck him in prison for saying the wrong things, for going up against the powers that be, and imprisoned him for 30-something years. He became so popular when de Klerk finally pardoned him or let him out, he became president of the country, overwhelmingly. But go ahead, you were going to say something. I'm just shaking my head in amazement of this crazy soap opera that I know I come from Hollywood, but you try to sell a script like this as nonfiction, they would say you're crazy. This is never, or you say, hey, this might happen in the future. Oh, never.
Yeah. The entire charges, when I read the indictment and I read, of course, I'm not going to tell you, it told us a lot that, hey, look, some of these top secret documents were the United States nuclear plans and our allies, their plans.
Where the nuclear sites are?
Yeah.
Man, China doesn't know that.
Yeah, nobody knows that at all. I mean, this is only Trump and the people that went to Mar-a-Lago.
Let me tell you, the farmer in Estonia knows where our nuclear sites are.
Yeah. And
he goes on, they have the internet there in, Siberia.
It's almost as if they want to say that this is such a grave offense. But as I was driving in, Dan Bongino made a very good point. If their top secret information is like a presidential route when you're trying to get him from point A to point B, after the route is done, that paper is worthless. Everybody knows where the president drove through it, and he's got a very good point.
Well, is that not why they didn't go after Bill Clinton? Took all his documents. Obama took documents, secret documents. Joe Biden, as vice president, took documents. You probably go back to every president took some mementos, some documents, and for them.
Did you take anything when you were mayor?
They didn't take a thing.
Oh, you left it all there?
I left it all. I was going to take a Nigerian painting, and then Georgianne White said, "You can't take that." And I go, "Why? That belongs to the people." Oh God,
well, I'm the people.
Yeah, no. But I learned that about that. You can't take that stuff with you. But anyway, 37 counts, and he's arriving early. Now, you know what I'd do if I was him?
Well, what'd you do?
I would call up Bruce Buffer, the UFC guy, and then put him at the top of the steps of that place where he's going to get arraigned. and I'd have him go, you get a good crowd there, and have him start, it's time!
And get the eye of the tiger going.
And then I'd have him come out, how the UFC walk down the aisle there with the lights and everything. I would just, and when they ask him why you do it, he says, well, I just want to show how ridiculous.
Don't give him any ideas.
And you know how about people listening to this for the first time are listening to me, and a lot of my members of Autry's Army, I know one in particular who I love very dearly, will think that I've been a Trump supporter, I've been a MAGA dude, and
you're not.
That's not.
I'm trying to convince you to be a MAGA dude.
I tell you, I believe in many of the MAGA principles. What's wrong with making America great again? That's a Reagan mantra.
Mm-hmm.
Reagan came up with that. You got to think, please do. See, that's why they don't want kids to have history anymore. They want to keep them dumb, ill-informed, and Marxist and woke. And the smarter a kid becomes, the less woke they become. That's just the way it is. The more you know, the less Marxist you come. Now, free market system, capitalism, and I'm not going off on a tangent. All this stuff's connected with the media and the cancel culture and all that stuff. The more you see about the history of Marxism, how it has failed miserably, and in the countries where it did finally take hold and rule, millions of innocent people were killed in the process. You have to kill people off. The biggest mass murder in the history of the world, it was neck and neck, depending on who the data that you look at, but all agree that Mao Zedong and Joseph Stalin killed millions and millions of their own people. Lowest estimation, 43 million in China. Stalin, like 50 million of his people. So you don't want the informed public on that. But anyway, 37 accounts. We'll be following this story, obviously. They said all politics is local. And we're going to get to some local stories here in Fresno with the pride flag being voted down to fly over the county courthouse 5-0, yet 6-1 with the mayor's approval here to fly over to City Hall. What's going on there? We're going to get to that in just a second. But you mentioned Bongino.
Yeah.
Before we go to break. I like Dan. I never met Dan Bongino, but he served his country.
Yeah.
Secret Service guy.
For Obama.
Very common sense guy, staunch American. I can see how he could get people riled up because he is who he is, and he's not going to take the gloves off.
He's Italian.
He's going to come at you with his beliefs, and that's who he is. And I respect him and like his commentary much of the time. Disagree sometimes with it, but most of the time we're grazing on the same side of the fence there on issues. But you could feel somebody, and you find out they'll say something or do something, and you're going, what? I didn't expect that to come from him or her. Man, was I off. The other day, last week, Bongino was talking about this possibility of this flying saucer landing in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to do a story about that.
Okay. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But Bongino's over there going, I'm not saying that I believe it, but it's weird, man. It's weird. Let me play this 911 call. Let me play this to you. And he gets up there and they play the 911 call, and two guys are, hello, 911. Yeah, there's these 2 8-foot people. They're 2 8-foot people, and they got 2 big eyes and 1 big mouth, and they're in my backyard. There's 2 of them, and they're staring at me. Sir, what did you say? Yes, there's 2, about 8 foot tall. They're about at least 8, maybe 10 feet tall, and they got these big eyes and a big mouth. And sir, what are they doing? They're just staring at me. I swear to God, this is happening. This is no joke. I swear. He had a 911 call. Then Bongino, as evidence that this may have happened, said as the police cruiser was driving around and answered that call, prior to going to the house to check it out, they saw a light in the sky descending. Thought it was a shooting star, but kind of out there where the house is.
Could have been an alien spaceship.
So they went there, and I guess they have a video of it. And Bongino goes, I'm not saying that. Hey, I don't know. All I'm saying is this is weird, man. No, it's not, man.
Come on, Alan.
You've got 2 crazy dudes pulling your chain. 2 8-foot aliens in a backyard. First of all, the cops said they went out, checked it out, and reported it as a non.
Did you watch the body cam footage?
As a non-ent. Yeah, you see something in the sky.
No.
You see it all the time.
The opposite.
And where's the wreckage? There's no record. Where are the big footprints? Or do they just kind of hover over the ground in the backyard? And they go there, they talk to them, they look around, and they put the case to rest as nothing to it. It's like, come on. Dan, do not go Tucker on me. I respect Tucker too. And when he was on Fox every month, the music come on. Another sighting of a fly. Folks, I'm going to look you right in the camera. I'm as sure about this as I am that I'll probably never get a job in Hollywood again. I am that sure of what I'm about to say. We are alone. I know it's so hard for you all. Even the NASA scientists, even Elon Musk, who has gone telescopes out there and gets the information hot off the presses, has come to the conclusion there is a minimal probability there's any form of life. I mean, just one of those little amoeba types out there, swimming around in this primordial swamp in galaxy Uranus or whatever. That might be not even that, much less an 8-foot, two of them, aliens.
That's exactly what the government would want us to think. And you worked for the government for 8 years. Gosh. We are not alone.
Did they ever think that maybe, Shaquille O'Neal and Nikola Jokic kind of just went for a walk that night?
And we're glowing?
Stumbled into a backyard, just having a conversation on the NBA, how to post up and win a championship. Nikola was just kind of picking his brain. And all of a sudden, they look over, and there's two guys staring at them. And there's no doubt.
It's Vegas.
Those guys were drinking Bud Light. They were drinking Bud Light. They had a case of Bud Light underneath one of them. Said, "Hey, Merle." "Yeah, Fred."
They didn't sound like that.
Why don't we? Yeah, they put on the voice when they called. They had to act like I got an idea. Oh, here in Vegas, we lost all our money in roulette wheel. Ain't nothing to do. They just cut the cord on our cable. Well, this cell phone's still on. Why don't we do this? Let's call them and say there's two 8-foot aliens. Well, that's the stupidest thing. No, Fred, if we do it, Fred, we could go viral. Do you know what I mean when you viral? You can monetize that. You can what? You can monetize it. If you monetize it, we can get that money. We can pay off our bills and go back over there to the old one-armed bandit over there and lose some more money. All right, call him up. What the heck? That's it. Oh, God. Dan, don't lower yourself.
The officers
say something and take us a break.
The officers didn't help their case because on the body cam footage, they go out and they're like, hey, bro, we're kind of spooked here because we saw something in the sky. Then they ask a person driving by, hey, can we ask you a couple questions? You guys see any green men? So the cops didn't
See, that's what happens when you defund the police. You get guys like this that you have to hire. Because you get the quality guys don't sign up.
He was so spooked.
You imagine him going down a dark alley, hearing somebody scream, or going in breaking up a fight. He's spooked to go check out 8-foot aliens that have been reported. No, you said it could be 10 foot.
Could be 10 foot, 8 foot, 9 foot, 10 foot.
With two big eyes
and a big mouth.
And a big mouth. You know what happened? That fits the description of a Twilight Zone episode. It was called To Serve Man. The aliens landed, and they're like 8 foot. They're huge, and they got big eyes and a big mouth. Okay, and they find this book, and it's called To Serve Man. So they're very nice to people. They're nice to us Earthlings. They just like, hey, come to our planet and visit. We want to get a little exchange program. We just want to have peace. And they're trying to decipher what's in the book because it's in their language. It's the aliens' language.
Yeah.
So they're trying to decode it. So they're going to load up the first visitors to the planet in the saucer. So people are going in, and the big 8-foot monsters there shaking their hands and they're coming onto the thing. And then it gets decoded in the lab. You see this terror on the face of the guy who's finally decoded it. And he just runs off camera, cut to the saucer, loading up the people. He comes running in, and his buddy's going into the saucer. And he says, "Stop, turn around. I've decoded the book. To Serve Man is a cookbook." It's a classic. That's what they saw. They're setting it on, watching Twilight Zone reruns, and they do this. And Bongino, of all people, Dan, common sense Bongino. Dan, don't take the bait, Bongino. Dan, keep us in the real world, Bongino. Et tu, Brute. You go over into Wackoville and give any kind of credence to this story.
But did you know 2 to 5% of UFO sightings are actually explained? Only 2 to 5%. The rest are unexplained. What do you?
So are most successful acting careers. Most of them are unexplained. What am I doing? What getting a hit series? That's unexplained.
All right, fine.
But I'm not from some planet.
So
I'm not from some solar system 10 galaxies away. They got into my little space Yugo and traveled over here and crashed out in Parlier.
Oh man.
Or am I?
Yeah. I don't know. You're trying to throw us off this case.
You got some pretty big eyes, don't I?
You and a big mouth.
Oh, gosh, I got a big mouth. Just ask my wife. She's going to call up. There's this 6'4" alien in back by my pool. He's got two big eyes, a big mouth, and a saggy butt. Well, maybe it's your husband, man. No, that's not him. He used to be Studley. This is not. It's an alien staring at me. Get here quick. Get us some music. Get out of here.
Get us some X-Files music.
Give us something to get out of here. Yes, not unusual. I love it. Little Tom Jones. Folks, this is Alan Autry, Sorrento, Guillermo Moreno. Monstrous Monday. We'll be back here in just a moment here with some real hard news. Hard stuff. Break out the hard stuff, bartender.
When I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual.
Oh, George Soros hands over control of 25. Boy, a little succession going there. The liberal succession. Why don't they do why didn't CNN do a documentary or HBO like they did Succession? Have you seen Succession?
I have not.
Oh my gosh.
Good?
Do you have HBO?
Isn't it is it like its own app? No, I don't.
I
got Paramount.
Get Pluto. Succession. It's the writer wrote it's in 4 seasons it went. Critically acclaimed, really mesmerizing. But it was a writer who got really fixated on the Murdoch family and the Fox empire and the succession, how the Rupert Murdoch character.
So it's a true story.
Well, no, he took it and embellished it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Did his take on it, like Oliver Stone did with JFK.
Okay.
You take the thing, but then you embellish on it and bring your own beliefs to the thing. Very entertaining. Not very flattering, but he humanizes the characters. But here you got George Soros with his Succession, hanging it over, because that's the plot line of Succession. Who does the old man hand the business over to? And in Rupert Murdoch's case, he pitted his 2 sons and his daughter against each other.
Really?
For that.
See who's the
best. In real life. And then
fight it out.
And then this guy, the one, what's his name? Aiken, I think is his name. Murdoch wound up to be the heir apparent, although Rupert's still alive and calling the shots. He just married a 41. He's 90-something. He married a gal that's 41.
Well, I don't think it went through.
It didn't?
I think she like Adam Merced, right?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know. What? Murdoch's?
I think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think they called it off.
I would like to see the liberal version of that. Why don't they do an expose on George Soros? Same deal.
I agree.
I don't think we're going to see that.
No. Gosh. Maybe Fox Nation will do it.
1 minute?
Maybe Fox Nation. Murdoch. Fiance. Yeah, it was 2-week fiance.
30 seconds?
2 weeks?
Yeah, they were. She was 66. He was 92.
She was how old?
66.
Wow, imagine being 66 and being like, you're like Rob the Cradle. Somebody that's 66. Well, you know you're getting up there.
She was Adam Merced. Yeah.
What if that's on?
She's
5 seconds?
Gold digger.
No, not gold digger. I mean, we got a pretty good settlement.
But they weren't married.
It's the gossip going on.
You're
Our
listening
show's
to the
above
Alan
that.
Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX.
And welcome back to Monstrous Monday with Sorrento, Guillermo. You know what a blessing it is to do this show with you.
You know, with you.
No, really. It is pathetic how much I look forward to coming in this hour, y'all. It is just plain fun. I mean, we talk about very difficult subjects and we get passionate about it. And it's just, we're afflicted. We're going to be concerned about this country and the direction it's going until probably the day we take our last breath.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is. But, you can have fun at it too. And I'm having fun. So before we I want to ask you one thing before we get into the pride flag thing. Pride flag flying. It's hard to say. Just with the lips. Hard to say for me. I want to say hey out there to Lauren Lee Roche, my daughter, and Joseph and Sean and Isaiah. family are living there in Hanford, and just I know they watch every now and then. I don't know if they're watching now, but just want to give a big shout out to them and all the projects they got going. And boy, I tell you, my little grandson, he's just growing like it. We got two grandsons, and I get it now when they say grandkids complete you.
Yeah.
Never understood that. They complete you. My stuntman became a grandfather many years ago. He said the same thing. He's like a cowboy type. They don't use words like that. Completes.
Oh,
me.
never. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard a cowboy say that.
You know, riding out here on the range, spitting the tobacco, it completes me. Yeah. Bulldogging that steer, just I tell you, it touches my soul and completes me. No, you don't hear that.
You don't hear that.
But he used it, and I get it. So anyway,
awesome.
Hey y'all out there, and love y'all. Tucker Carlson, real quick before we get in. I need you to kind of translate these numbers. Fox gets rid of him. Some people are still scratching their head. He was the cash cow. I guess you would have to call him the cash steer. He didn't transition to a cow.
No.
He was the cash bull or the cash steer there at Fox. By far, the most popular, even more popular than Hannity. Got into some stuff with his texts where he badmouthed the owners and this and that. But that's not unusual. It's a fireable offense. I'm just analyzing. I'm not taking a side on this. But, bottom line, they cut him loose. So the left was kind of celebrating all over the place. Finally, the mouth that they hated the most outside of Trump was gone. No longer poisoning the minds of America and the rest of the world, especially our young people. Gone. Way to go, Fox. Slayed the dragon. Then Tucker decides he's going to go over to Twitter. Just try this out. See how many viewers you get. Now, mind you, a hit show on Fox is around 3 million viewers. That's big for network television.
Yeah.
And regularly, cable outdoes their shows, outdoes the CBS, NBC, ABC stuff. CNN averaged less than 1 million for almost 2 years, like 960,000 average viewers. Okay. Well, Tucker did his premiere show on Twitter last week. Are you ready for this? How many views?
How many?
167 million. I just wonder what the left, people like George Soros, are doing now. I mean, part of the strategy, if you're really clear thinking, you look at this, it has to, the thought that they have created a monster, that they have been part of this, this really strategically bad error. Because if you're confined into the box of Fox, you're only going to have a limited audience. Now he's got on Twitter. What do you make of that? I mean, those are, and Bongino talked about it, but Bongino's no longer there. And he brought up a good point. He said, cable news is dead. He says the kids are turning on the social media, Instagram, Twitter. That's it. You either recognize that or you and move on. And Bongino didn't get his contract renewed, didn't seem to be bothered. Well, apparently his views are way up too. And you do monetize that.
Oh, yeah.
What's your thought on that? Could Tucker Carlson come out being a bigger, more pervasive, more influential voice than he ever could have been at Fox?
I think so. The problem with what's good for him in the sense that he's essentially reaching a different generation, because the individuals that watch cable news, the individuals that listen to conservative radio, all these different mediums have different generations and they consume media differently. So the Twitter thing, yeah, he's got 167 million views, and I haven't seen it myself, but if he's doing something in short snippets, because you have to think about it, the younger generation, and that if you were to look at the statistics on the 167 million, it's going to be all younger. They're going to trend younger. So how long are they watching for? So if they're watching for a long period of time, that's fantastic, because he's going to be able to talk to this audience on a nightly basis. Whereas when you look at Fox News, the individuals that watch that, they're going to sit there for 2 hours. They're going to dissect every word. They're going to really enjoy it. So I think that they have created a monster in the sense that now he's going to reach people that he was unable to reach before. They might not be there as long as the elderly person that enjoyed watching him on Fox, but I think they've now created a problem where you have a premier person, he's on a different medium. Now you've given him an even bigger platform. So I think it's all around good for Tucker, all around bad for Fox. And I think it's great for America in the sense that we have to be able to see different, but you know what I would also love to see on Twitter? I would love to see Don Lemon equally do a show on Twitter.
But is it? Yeah, I would too.
Yeah,
I would too. Excuse me. But doesn't this situation doesn't it show how important the Elon Musk purchase of Twitter really was?
Without a doubt.
There's no way Tucker Carlson would have made it on Twitter under the previous ownership. Although Jack Dorsey, he was a Twitter guy, right?
Yeah.
I tell you, if you watch Jack Dorsey as he was leaving, exiting there, he started having remorse over some of the cancellations that were happening.
That's such a good point.
That took me out, blindsided me. He started doing some rumination, saying, I would have done things different. I don't know if what we're doing here is the right thing for a free America to cancel people. He started musing this out loud while he was still CEO. And then you see him follow up with the move to endorse Robert F. Kennedy. Now that's really breaking loose of the woke chains that are usually shackled on most of big tech. I mean, Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just shackled all over by the far left.
He ain't changing.
The left says how high, Democrats say jump. He says how high. The left says take a crap, and he's going to say what color. I mean, he is totally gone. Now, you can look at Nike, same way. I don't know though. I think Jeff Bezos might be having some second thoughts of going that far. So, but we know for sure that you would not, and I'm like you, Don Lemon, give it to him. Chris Cuomo, get on Twitter. That's our generation, and that's how our teachers and professors used to teach us. It was called critical thinking.
Yeah.
You took, but you said, put it on the table, you examine it, you research it, and you come up with your opinion. That's why we were this freeing of the mind is why we had become, prior to this last movement, to close the minds of people, the most creative country in terms of inventions, entrepreneurship, all the product of a free mind taught from kindergarten. Yes, with rules. We're a nation of laws, but free thinking. You can examine this political viewpoint without going to jail. And when when there was a force out there that tried to stop that, back then you had the left, I'm talking about the 60s, who stood up and put their lives on the line for it. I'm talking about the song 4 Dead in Ohio, about Kent State, where the National Guard opened fire and killed 4 students for protesting. The Democratic National Committee, where you had Mayor Daley unleashing the police and the old chant, the whole world is watching. That was a statement against the man. And one of the men was corporate America, abusive corporate America, who wielded way too much power on speech. If you weren't with corporate America, you didn't get a chance for the American dream. And people like Abby Hoffman, Tom Hayden, all of these left-wing, Jane Fonda even, railed against these corporate abuses and the war in Vietnam, the military machine. When have you seen anybody on the left make any statement about excessive spending on defense outside of Bernie Sanders?
Yeah.
Who happens to be what? An old-time liberal. Why? You don't hear anything? Because the woke left has been bought and paid for. Probably 90% of those nonprofits that the woke depend on for employment and their power are funded by people like George Soros, for the high-tech platform, Facebook, Instagram, all of these corporate folks who, if you don't support them, they will call you out on social media and say you're a bigot, don't buy their products. And so I think it's a big thing that Tucker, and you don't have to be a Tucker Carlson fan, hopefully, and I'm turning this over to you to get your, I hope it is. Martin Luther King, I have that quote, I have a dream, yeah. But he also says, I don't fear any man because I've been to the mountaintop. I want to see people come up and say, politically or cancel-wise, I fear no one. I'm going to tell the truth. And whatever it costs me, we need people stepping up willing to do that.
Yeah, well, we need a public square. That's really the public square. And I go back to what is the most popular medium right now in America? And it's not Fox News. It's not CNN. I honestly think it's Twitter. And this is where Trump really has to recognize.
And do you think even the Musk era Twitter or pre-Musk Twitter, do you think it's retained its influence? I do.
Absolutely.
I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. I think when it wasn't right after when Twitter banned Donald Trump and kept Hezbollah and the terrorists on, I think Twitter took. I think they took a fall, pretty big fall. And I think now with Musk at the helm, as long as he doesn't go overboard like they went overboard when they were in control, and I think he's doing a great job by allowing Robert Kennedy, and that's why I said why not get Don Lemon on there? You need this marketplace of ideas. Twitter, unfortunately, I don't believe it's privately held, but this is the marketplace now. This is where you don't want to restrict freedom of expression or speech, and this is why I think Twitter is way more powerful than Fox News, and this is why Trump needs to get on Twitter and stop thinking that he's going to be able to deliver his message only on truth.
And the far left, woke left would say, those on the woke, not Democrats in general, just far left, would say we don't want Tucker Carlson, Trump out there on Twitter because they are going to influence adults because these adults, so-called adults, don't know enough. They're not educated enough. And hearing Tucker, hearing Trump, they're going to influence these adults to vote Republican, which is going to destroy the country. So they feel that you can be influenced by someone who talks a good game, who can sell you that, right? My folks out there, I'm kind of framing that, right?
You're right.
Well, but these same folks, though, will tell you that a teacher or a doctor would not influence a second grader who may be thinking about their gender, a girl wanting to play with boy stuff and a boy wanting to play with girl stuff, that they would have no influence, a negative influence on a kid about getting a sex change operation. Yeah, no, this kid knows what they're doing. We're just going to give them affirm what they're feeling now. We're not going to, so somehow you're able to absorb and wrap your mind around something as big and something as irreversible as sex change stuff. Yet when you become an adult, you're scared to death that you're going to be influenced by Tucker Carlson and become a Republican. I mean, there's these contradictions that I just don't get about the woke left. What are you afraid of? Put your best out there. We do it in everything else. Let Denver Nuggets are going to play the Miami Heat in sports. They put their best out there. Miami does. Denver put their best out there. And we get to see who the best team is over 7 games. Why not bring your best? Bring your best articulators of an open border. Bring your best articulators of having defund the police. Bring your best articulators that inflation is good. Bring your best articulators that we should have more and more and more personal taxes taken out and give it to the government because it's better to trust the government than yourself. Bring that argument to the table and make it to the people. And meanwhile, let Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, Elon Musk, and whomever bring their table and let us listen. What are you afraid of? What do you think they're afraid of? Why do they want to cancel rather than communicate?
It's easier to cancel. It's easier to cancel when you were in full control as well. Like, we don't need a debate because I can just cancel it. I win the debate. So it's almost a game where they've always had this unfair advantage. And that's what I'm saying. I really hope, and I don't see Elon Musk doing that on the reverse. I mean, he's really going to say, hey, listen, this is an open marketplace for everybody.
Could it be, too, that you and I are not selling pizzas? We start a pizza joint. We want people to come to our pizza joint. You have a freshly made pizza, fresh cheese, fresh meat on it. Got the linguiça on there. just got great cheese, big old nice, right out of the oven. And I've got a 5-day-old pizza with stale meat. And we're side by side with each other trying to sell a customer on what's the best pizza. I'm not going to have much of a chance. But if I can keep you from going to the door with your fresh pizza, your pizza that's really good for them, you got some spinach on there, you got some other good stuff. I can take my 5-day-old pizza with old beef, old cheese, molded on the side, but they're hungry, and I'm the only one at the door, and I don't allow anybody else in. They're going to buy that pizza, right? Because that's all they got.
Yeah. You're making me hungry though. Now I kind of lost me.
You're a vegetarian.
I just started thinking about pizza after a while.
But isn't that what's in play here? That they really know that they can't sell this agenda of open borders, inflation is good, that people are born racist at birth, or if you're white, you're just racist and don't know it. All of this stuff, and they go in and really try to sell it in a discussion format with the other side that very few people are going to buy.
Well, I don't think that they think the pizza's bad. They genuinely believe that pizza is that old 5-day pizza is the best pizza on earth. Like that is good pizza. Whether you,
but it's those people, the ones who's never ate a 5-day-old spoiled pizza. You ask anybody like a son that's lived in a communist country, they've eaten the 5-day-old poisoned pizza. You ask people from Cuba and Miami, the descendants that have eaten the 5-day-old pizza called communism under Castro, seen their relatives shot for disagreeing with the government, and they come out and they love America. That message of make America great again. They don't want to see America go back, or go the way of where their communist countries came out. Anybody who's lived under oppression, they've eaten. These people now, that believe it's right, that Marxism is great, that this woke left craziness is the thing to do, have been nurtured by the American dream, by the free market system. They've gone to schools. They've succeeded. They've gone to the best colleges. They've been educated. In some cases, people think brainwashed by professors. They got the credentials. They got the masters. They got the PhDs. They've never tasted a 5-day-old rotten political pizza. But in the book, it sounds good. Everybody gets the same. We get rid of profit. Just listen to John Lennon's Imagine. Imagine there's no country, no heaven above us, lowest only sky, all this stuff. Imagine no religion, just everybody loving together. And that sounds good until you apply it to reality. And then human nature kicks in. That human nature is for man to dominate other men and for women to dominate other women. So the domineering dictatorship always rises, the most powerful. And the only way they can control the masses is through fear, intimidation, and making everybody the same. And that sameness is a life with no dreams to better yourself. This is as good as it's going to get. In Cuba, they got free education. They got free health care.
Good point.
You got free health care, but you got to wait a year and a half to go get your broken leg fixed or your cancer treated. That's communism. And so I think, yes, you're right. There's some people that actually believe that, but they haven't lived in the real world. They're applying a theoretical this theory that Marxism, it's like, communism would have worked in Russia if it wasn't for Stalin. The problem is communism creates the Stalins. That would be all right in Russia if it wasn't for Putin. That oppressive government gives right. Chinese communism would be great if it wasn't for Mao. Cuba would have been, communism would be great, Cuba, if it wasn't for Che Guevara and Castro. Mass murder, that's what they think. They think the institution is just getting the right people.
Yeah. Haven't tried the right.
Okay, real quick. Let's go. I want to get your opinion on this. We have here locally, folks, the pride flag being flown, the big controversy with the LA Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw got upset that these sisters of perpetual indulgence, these are men that dress up like Catholic nuns and proceed to just demean and insult the Catholic faith in a very sexually immoral, disgusting way. And we're invited on Pride Day to the Dodgers. First, they were disinvited, then they were invited back because the groups went crazy on them. Here locally, you have the Fresno County Board of Supervisors. voted 5-0 to not fly the pride flag over the county office. Now, you could fly. They have a place there in the courtyard that you could fly your flags, pride flag, NRA flag, any political movement or whatever. Within, I suppose you could even fly the Confederate flag. I don't know what would stop you, but you could fly your flag there. On the flip side of that, counter to that, the city of Fresno voted 6-1 with the mayor's approval to fly the pride flag, and they just had the raising of the flag the other day. What do you make of this? What, Guillermo, here locally, how can you have such a disparity and such a contrast in what about this flag and what appropriate and not appropriate where the flag flies?
Well, it comes down to leadership. It really does. Because when you look at the Board of Soups, their leadership is way different their leadership priorities are extremely different. I stand for the opinion of that if it's a government seat, you only allow government flags. State,
because it represents
county.
everybody.
Yeah, it represents everybody. There's no, whether you like it or not, you're in California. Whether you like it or not, you're in America. When you start going into these different factions, and right now it's LGBTQ plus. Tomorrow it could be something else. Whatever month it is. So I'm also okay with them displaying the flag at Eaton Plaza or another place where it's when you get into this, and you and I have talked about this extensively. It's not that we don't want the pride flag flown. It's the fact that you're opening Pandora's box, and the city is going to start dealing with an issue that really should have never been an issue. Instead of looking up in the city of Fresno, why don't you look down and see reality and what's really going on? I mean, look at our roads still aren't fixed. They're just going to be potholes for years because there's not enough money. Our sidewalks are cracking and broken. Our neighborhoods need a lot of help. Stop looking up. Stop pretending that everything's okay on the ground. So my feeling is the government, especially the city council, has so much work to do. Do we really need to be spending and focusing so much on a flag? And listen, I'm okay with it. Go to Eaton Plaza.
Yeah.
Do it at Eaton Plaza.
I agree.
Don't do it. It's the seat of government. Let's keep that, because I'll tell you what. What if you get the Proud Boys MAGA movement?
That's exactly.
And they were to submit it to the city of Fresno. What are they going to say? They're going to get themselves in a lawsuit, because if they say, "Well, hey, wait a minute,
that's what happened in Boston.
Did it?
They that same deal.
Was it Proud Boys?
No, it wasn't Proud Boys, but it was a flag that was contrary to the one that was flown. I believe it was the pride flag. I may be wrong on that, but it was a situation where if you say yes to one, you have to say yes to everyone else, because there is no really grounds to deny someone.
Yeah,
there's just really not. If somebody wants to put up like the Confederate flag, well, that stands for slavery, and the people says, no, we weren't for slavery. This stands for Southern hospitality. At one time, we were a country. Believe me, I'm glad the North won. I'm glad the North won. They were a bunch of, and it was treasonous to go over and secede from the Union. I'm from the South, but I was not for that at all. Thank God the North won that. And most people in the South feel the same way. I'll tell you that. But how do you say no to someone who creates a flag? And even if there's a few members, it doesn't have to be thousands, a few hundred here locally, make a flag called the traditional marriage flag between a man and a woman. That's what marriage should be. That's what that flag symbolizes. Mm-hmm. And they want to fly it. They don't have any protocol that says you have to have so many proven members of your organization before we fly it. Pride, because the Pride organization in LA, which is an organization that invited the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Now, I have a different view on that.
They have, so what do all of these branches, that's why an NRA. No, yeah. I don't want an NRA. I'm for gun rights. NRA is very respected by a lot of people, organization. I don't want their flag shouldn't fly over City Hall.
Heck no, it shouldn't.
No,
I agree. Yeah.
But how do you deny them?
That's why you shouldn't go down this road.
Well, that's my point. And that's why I was so disappointed in our mayor. Yeah. He had an opportunity to do what the county did. The county was the leader. For some inexplicable reason, Chief Jerry Dyer, Mayor Dyer, he had it set up. You can fly it over at Eaton Plaza, but for the very reasons we're talking about, Doesn't mean I'm anti-gay or any of that. This is going to set a precedent, and
Yeah.
I don't want to have to put up flags that in my heart I feel is a hate flag simply because I have to because I flew yours.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to wind up hurting you, gay movement, pride movement.
Yeah.
If I do this, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then he folded and ran it up there, and then at the ceremony, he's there doubling down on it, and you got to have the guts to say, just because I feel that it should be the city flag, the state flag, and the American flag, the only flags, because it represents everybody here in this city, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but it represents everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't fly the pride flag or any other movement flag. And even I'm a big supporter of the Armenian community. But I was over there when they raised the Armenian flag. I don't think we should do that.
I agree.
I take that back.
Yeah.
Because what is that going to do with all the people from Turkey don't agree with it? I support the Armenian community, and I do believe the genocide happened.
Yeah. Imagine raising the Israeli flag?
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up. How controversial would that be?
Oh, man.
After moving oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And you would get a lot of people in the pride movement, not all, but many of them are very focused on that issue.
Yeah.
Because why? Because that's where the Bible came from.
Yeah.
Not all pride people. Caitlyn Jenner is a believer.
Yeah.
Caitlyn Jenner doesn't want this.
Now,
Don't tell me every trans person probably wants the flag flown over the government.
Now, real quick, with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, that is a private.
They got to pick a better name.
Go ahead. That's a pretty good name. You got to give it to them. Their motto is, I disagree with it, but it's anyhow. The Dodgers are a private company. We can't be regulating, and I don't. If they want to do it, go for it. It's a private company. If it were the city of Fresno doing something like that, it'd be totally different. So I know.
Just don't go to the game.
Just don't go to the game. Yeah, I mean, it's a business decision that they've made.
That's a legitimate position.
And I know Jim Franklin, because he's been talking about it for about a week, and I know he's
hot.
He is not liking it. But at the end of the day, business decision.
Yeah, no, I can see Jim's point. It's because it really is a distasteful organization that would do something like that. But you bring up a good point too. It's a private organization, and you don't have to frequent them. You don't have to go to that game. All you Dodger fans, come on over to the Yankee fan side. It's warm. It's great.
A's.
I know you won't go Giant fan, but just go to the other.
We don't have a home, but eventually we will.
All right, this is Autry and Guillermo Moreno. Thanks for tuning in, and just do your best and let God do the rest. And watch out for those 8-foot aliens coming in your backyard. Be on the lookout. They're dangerous. We'll see you on Tuesday.